We're Sarah and Ben. Welcome back to Diamonds on Tour. This week, we're leaving Molde and heading on through the bottom end of Norway.
Now, can you hear that? The uncharacteristic sound of a ferry moving off. There's no diesel chug, there's no cloud of smoke coming out of it, there's also no CO2 coming out of it, because these are electric ferries. You see the other one on the other side of the fjord over there. Now, Norway are huge investors in these systems. That unit there, that tower, is the charging infrastructure. And when they come into port, they spend only about 5 minutes, and an arm comes out of that tower and connects onto the side of the ferry and uses a kind of like an inductive loop system to charge them. And in 5 minutes, using 4 megawatts of power, they charge their batteries, and that's enough for, in this case, about a 15-minute crossing. And they just go backwards and forwards, charging each time it's in port. And of course, because Norway's electricity is almost entirely from renewable sources, 95% from water power, hydroelectric, and about 3 or 4% from geothermal, it is genuinely a carbon neutral solution. And quite apart from carbon dioxide emissions, it's absolutely incredible to have the peace and quiet of this scene not interrupted with the hideous diesel engine.
Hello. Today is Saturday the 27th of April, and we're standing here waiting for a ferry, and just wanted to share with you this fabulous view. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous.
I know those television programs where they look out of a window and they go, wow, what a magnificent view. Well, sometimes they're not quite as good as the view that our kitchen has right now. Have a look at this. Yeah, what do you think of that? It's not bad, is it? Beautiful park up we found tonight on the side of this fjord. So they say your house stays the same when you're travelling a van, but your front garden changes every night. Well, this is ours for tonight.
So just look at that. That has been one amazing park up. Can that be beaten? Not sure. Anyway, today we're off to Bergen, a bit further south in our journey, so we're definitely going to see you there.
Well, it's certainly pretty fair to say that the road conditions have improved somewhat in the last few weeks. We're no longer having to follow those little red posts at the side of the road to tell us where the road is in the snow. We have travelled south, but also it's a bit of time. We're about 3 weeks on from when we were right up north, and the difference in the conditions, the climate, the weather are huge. We've got lots of beautiful green grass, daffodils, all sorts of things bursting back into life with leaves on the trees, and it's absolutely stunning. What they do down here is they leave a bit of snow upon the high mountains just to make it look beautiful for as long as they can. But no, it's utterly stunning. We're heading now on I think this is the E39 road, heading towards Bergen, which is a city out on the very west of Norway. Join us there a little bit later.
We just stopped here, bit of a break, and just found this diving board. And no, I am not going in, but look at that, you could go diving, you could go the water. Oh my God, isn't that wonderful? Picnic benches. Then, oh super, lovely and clear that. And then this diving board. Thought Ben might do it for you, but I don't think it's probably a no.
From our park up near Sletten, we were able to take a 20-minute ride on the excellent metro to reach Bergen city centre. It costs 44 Norwegian kroner, or £3.20 in British pounds, for an adult for 90 minutes, so it's great value and super efficient. Well, we're here in this pub here in Bergen, enjoying a very nice beer. And we were talking to the guy who's working behind the bar, and he was telling us all about his understanding of languages. He knows 4 languages at least very, very well. But he was telling us that at school he didn't score very highly on his exams for his English, because his English assignment at the end of school was to write an essay about the merits of capital punishment. Sounds pretty deep for a language assignment, but he decided that he would base his assignment on the Monty Python Dead Parrot sketch.
Yeah.
and as a result of that, didn't score so highly.
It's because he only knew 2 words, and that was death and dying.
Yeah,
so
that's
he thought,
right.
what could he do?
So Monty Python seemed to be the right thing to speak about. So we think he should have scored 10 out of 10 just for imagination and ingenuity. And his English is magnificent. Way better than our Norwegian, of course. Anyway, we just thought that was a really funny story to share with you guys. We're getting ready to leave Bergen today and drive on to our next destination, and I was looking at the maps and I've come across this potential snag, which is, I don't know if you can see that. I'll record the screen as well so you can see it a bit more clearly, but there's this section of road, a road closed sign here, and also up here where there's more work going on. And I've put the translate on this text, and it looks like the road might be closed with like a manual detour or something when they do the convoy to let you through a roadwork section, or it says that there might be 30-minute closures. So basically we've decided to wing it, go there and just see what happens. If the absolute worst comes to the worst, we can just camp a little bit before there. This location is only a few minutes before our destination, so we can't really take a different route. Now, this is where we parked last night to visit Bergen, right next to the tram line. Really didn't disturb us at all. Very quiet, no problem at all. So we had electricity, there's services for water and things. Not much else, but it's really nicely located for visiting the city of Bergen. We quite often refer to Norway's incredible civil engineering that they use to overcome the physical challenges of their spectacular topography. We've experienced some great roads, but nothing like this until now. Well, this is a new experience. A traffic roundabout inside a tunnel. That's quite something. We'll go down here and it comes straight out onto a bridge. If that wasn't crazy enough, there's another one soon after. Well done, Norway. Great work. And here we are with our second underground traffic roundabout. Now, the toll for this section of road is 385 kroner. And it clearly costs quite a bit to build roads like this. You need to pay for it somehow. As we're driving along, clearly we see a lot of other camper vans and motorhomes, and I want to start a new movement because I was a bit embarrassed a couple of days ago driving the other way. There was a camper van and the driver waved, and it was a bit too late. I didn't have time to wave myself, and I felt really bad about that. I felt it's actually a bit rude. It's like saying hello, somebody says hello to you and you don't reply to them. So I'm starting a movement that I'm going to wave at every single camper and motorhome that comes the other way. A lot of them reciprocate, and I think it's a really interesting thing because there's this shared sort of kinship. All of us motorhomers and campervanners, we all know how wonderful it is, this sort of travel. We're all having a great time. experiencing this incredible country. And it's almost that sort of knowing glance of saying, yeah, hi, fellow campervanner, we acknowledge the pleasure that we're all having. So if you're in a campervan or a motorhome and you see some mad English person waving at you, that's why I'm starting the movement. And if you're driving your campervan, I encourage you to wave at all the others on the road as well. It's a great thing.
So we've come this afternoon as a special treat to come and see this rather touristy tourist attraction. There's a lot of people here, and it's called Vøringsfossen. It's, I believe, one of, if not the most spectacular waterfall in Norway. It certainly is quite impressive. Let me just show you this. Now we're incredibly high up, and it's actually making me feel a bit wobbly. I'm glad there's this amazing structure been built that we can stand and hold on to. But there is a fantastic walkway all around here, so I might be doing that in a bit. You can actually walk, along that valley, but they say not to do it until the middle of May. And I think I can see why, really, because right now there's still lots of snow, and you could be fooled into thinking that you could stand on that piece down there and find yourself in that freezing cold water. The sun coming down there now. That's lovely. That valley is lovely. These are the handrails that were obviously holding up the barrier before they put this fantastic steel job up. We left our park up last night at Vøringsfossen, where the waterfall was. Good night's sleep there. That was really great. And we've just encountered this mountain pass, and we're back into winter. It's winter wonderland again, and I'm just going to show you that now.
So it's about 1,000 metres altitude.
Okay, so we're at about 1,000 metres altitude. And what we're blown away by is, do you remember those red poles that you've seen on the trip so far? Well, here they don't use those. They're obviously not big enough. So they've got these giant wooden stakes, which are, bits of tree, but they're huge, and they've got them marked really high. So we're thinking that they really have serious snow here. We have just driven through one of the barriers that stops you going over a pass if the weather's bad, but obviously that was open, so the road's fine. But apparently yesterday, according to somebody we met in the car park, they said that they had to be escorted through here because it was snowing and it was pretty bad. So that's pretty incredible, really. I can see the fresh snow on the side. You can see the dirty stuff and then the fresh stuff. Yeah, that must have been yesterday's fresh stuff. Quite amazing.
The poles are ridiculous.
The poles are mental. That's incredible.
This is a modern replica of a 12th century stave church that stood near this site until 1880. The city was expanding and needed a bigger church, so the original was dismantled and moved to King Oscar II's private outdoor museum near Oslo. That's now part of the Norwegian Museum of Cultural History, and this replica was built here in the 1980s. Unfortunately, as it was still quite early in the year, it wasn't open to look inside. This is the world's largest sculpture park featuring works by a single artist. Gustav Vigelund started planning the park in 1924 when the city agreed to build the park, but most of the works were completed from 1940 to 1949. There are over 200 sculptures in bronze, granite and cast iron.
Ben and his nice new Norway hat.
Well, I'm a tourist.
Yeah, looks good. You look good, Ben. So this is Høysand, and it's actually our last stop in Norway. Very sad, really. We will be leaving tomorrow and heading towards Gothenburg, which is in Sweden. So yeah, Norway's pulled out the stops today on the weather. It's actually 23 degrees at the moment.
It's only 4 weeks ago that we experienced minus 23 degrees C. So this plus 23 means we've had a 46 degree variance in just 4 weeks. That is astonishing. When spring arrives, it arrives quickly up here.
As we leave Norway for the final time on this trip, we've still got more of Sweden, Denmark and the Netherlands to explore. Please consider subscribing and click the notifications so you don't miss next week's exciting episode. See you next week!